Project Board Game Geek here with Matt Leacock and Steve Campbell of Z-Man Games, showing us Pandemic Fall of Rome.
That's right.
Yeah? So, is this another pandemic game? So tell me about it. What are we doing?
So this is Pandemic Fall of Rome. It's the third game in the Pandemic Survival series.
Oh wow, cool.
So this is a series that brought you Pandemic Iberia and Pandemic Rising Tide. They're all tied to a different host country.
Okay, great.
This is the host country for the Pandemic Survival Championship. So this year it's in Italy.
Oh,
yeah, I partnered with an Italian co-designer this time.
Excellent.
Paolo Mori.
Okay.
Yeah, and the result is Pandemic Fall of Rome.
I love it. So, what are we doing?
Okay, so in Pandemic Fall of Rome, instead of disease, the threat in this game is, as you're the Roman Empire, the threat is the barbarian hordes that are coming in.
Awesome.
Right? So you want to kind of keep them at bay.
Of course.
Long enough to create 5 alliances. You can also try to fight off the migrating barbarians, but as we know, it didn't work very well.
No.
Yeah, didn't work out so well.
So I mean, you can try that. I wish you luck. It's better to try to, if you can actually meld your cards and create these alliances. When you've created an alliance with the 5 different tribes, then you win.
Excellent.
Of course, along the way, things go bad.
Of course. As they do.
As always. Yeah.
So at the end of every turn, instead of drawing cards to infect the world, you're drawing cards to add barbarians. They advance, right? So in this case, you're adding a barbarian. In this case, the Ostrogoths. We have the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, the Huns. So we have the Vandals and the Anglo-Saxons and Franks, right? So here the Ostrogoths are moving into Sinope. So we look to see where Sinope is.
Okay.
In this case, you can actually put a barbarian in here. They've migrated in.
They marched far enough, right?
Yeah, they marched far enough.
They keep going.
If you're to draw a card like for Mediolanum or something like all the way down in Syracuse, they can't just spring out of the ground, right?
Okay, so they go to the next.
So they go to the nearest available one. In this
I
case,
see.
if you do this card, they have to kind of march from here into here,
I see.
right? So you have this sort of like these hordes coming in over the
The
course.
slow, inexorable advance, right? You just know they're coming.
Right. So the engine of the game is very familiar, but the way it plays out in the game is different.
Because they're all like moving in like this.
The paths, right?
Yeah, interesting.
Another big change is, so you start off in one of the different cities, and you'll have these Roman legions with you. And it would be nice if you could just travel to one of these areas and just take them off, like in Pandemic, right?
Yeah, sure.
But they're barbarians; they don't want to just
No,
come
they
off,
don't want to
right?
just-
So you need to battle with them, and you can battle with up to 1 die for every legion with your player opponent.
Okay.
And you roll the dice, and whatever you roll up is your casualties. So in this case, you've got 1 barbarian casualty, so you could choose one of your choice here, and you take a Hun off. You have 1 legion was a casualty, you take a legion off. And then you look at this as a standard, and that references your special
Each of
ability.
the characters have a unique ability.
I see.
So
They're at the bottom here. And
exactly, you can see it. So
matches
it
the
gives,
diagonal.
right, it gives you more flavor to your roll.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So in this case, your Magister Militum very good at battle. So you would take 2 barbarians off.
Excellent. That's
So you're
really
fighting
fun.
the consul. He's very good at raising and recruiting troops. So here you're adding a legion. And some of them aren't actually very good at all.
I don't want that one.
Right. But they may have other abilities to compensate.
Something else. That's
Yeah.
good. Yes.
So those are 2 of the big differences. And also you have different colors for the different cities. So you can see Visigoths will migrate this way.
I see.
And the Ostrogoths will migrate. And so you'll end up with cities with multiple tribes.
I see. You really don't want that to happen.
And then, of course, Rome is the ultimate prize, right?
They all roads,
High pieces are
all roads lead to Rome.
They do.
Yeah,
All
they
roads-
do. Yeah.
Excellent.
And if Rome gets sacked, then you lose the game.
Then you lose the game.
Yeah. Or if you have too many sackings, then you lose the game.
Oh, I see the decline here.
Yeah. So every time there's a sacking, which is like an outbreak, that declines.
Excellent. That sounds really wonderful. And looks like a ton of different.
There's 7 different rolls in the box, and you also get a lot of variety because there's just a ton of event cards.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite touches
Oh
of the
yeah.
event. So
I'll go put some on.
having a native is really beneficial. Matt, you've talked about that every time you do
Yeah,
one of these,
yeah.
right? And so Paulo was really able to lend some expertise about, the history
Oh, excellent.
specifically, and also we went back to the Latin roots, and every one of them is inspired by the famous Latin phrase, right? So you have, Vini Vidi Vici, Horus Tua Vita Mea,
That is so
all this,
cool.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
They can yell out on Latin if you like that. The other thing about the events is they have a normal effect, And they have a stronger effect you can take, which is much better.
Of course.
But there's corruption involved, so you decline more.
That's a really nice trade-off. If you need it,
If you need it, then you're fine.
right?
We've got this.
Right. And
Famous
instead of
last words.
there's no research stations in the game, but you can create these fortifications. So you can create a fortification here.
That kind of keeps them at bay a little bit.
That allows you to recruit legions there. Right?
Oh,
Strong
And it's
points.
useful to have these legions around because if you would normally add a barbarian there, instead of adding the barbarian, you just remove the legion. So you can kind of like set up little outposts of legion.
That's really handy. Yeah. That sounds really great. And this is available already?
Very, very soon.
Very soon. Coming really soon.
It is on the boat, on its way.
On the boat. Yes.
Yeah, something we try very hard to do is to coordinate with the World Championship event. That's why we
Oh,
do
yeah,
this, right?
that's
So
really-
that's happening at the Luca Comics and Games Fair, which is next week actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Right
it's
after
back
Essen?
to every
Oh
time
my
we meet the
gosh.
Italians, they're like, "I have Luca next week." It is back to back, right?
Oh my gosh.
So they do that, and we'll be hosting there. Matt's gonna be there.
Yep.
Excellent.
So
That'd be
it'll
fun.
it'll first be there, a sneak peek, and then it should be on sale for all markets here before the end of the year.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Anything
Matt and Steve, thank you.
All right.